How's it going, everybody? Continuing on in Revelation 21. And he that overcometh, and all sheep will, those that were chosen before the foundation of the world, shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful, these are the goats, the unbelieving, and the abominable, and the murderers, who, by the way, had no free will to choose to be goats, that was the will of the Lord. We are all living in his will be done. And whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death, which already took place. And remember, they're dead when they go into that lake of fire. They're already dead. Think of it like how we do cremation today. The person is dead, and then they go through the fire, to the fire, so to speak. They go to the fire. Same. They go to the lake of fire. I got a little bit of a runny nose, and we know that colds and flus are nothing more than detoxes. They're not germs. Germs are fake. You can get bacterial infections. You can get staph or bacteria, like if you leave your chicken out too long. But if somebody coughs in your face, that don't get you sick. Now, if somebody coughs in your face and you tell yourself you're going to get sick, you can psychosomatic yourself to be sick. Looking back, I used to do that all the time. If I rub my eyes or accidentally touch the hair on my nose, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get sick. That's how, ears, nose, and throat's all connected. I'd be get a sore throat next day. Now, knowing germs aren't real, I'll just stick my finger straight up my nose with an unwashed hand, care less. And I don't ever get sick. Yeah. Yeah. Brad Pitt floated that to you, by the way, in 12 Monkeys. He said, germs are fake. Because they are. Yeah. But because of germs, they're able to, well, you better, when it's flu season, they tell you that you need something because you might catch a germ. Yeah. No. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and idolaters and all liars have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And remember, that's the culmination when they are thrown in there. They were killed when the flame came down and devoured them much earlier. And there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, excuse me, or bowls, of the seven last plagues. And he talked with me. Now, the plagues and everything already took place. So again, this is John's vision. This is how things were laid out to John in order. Now, and all he's saying is the one that had the plagues came to talk to me. So, like the plagues already took place, right? Saying, come hither, I will show thee the bride and the lamb's wife. Excuse me, I will show thee the bride, the lamb's wife, comma. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great high mountain, and he showed me that great city. There it is. The great city all over the book of Revelation is Jerusalem. And it's referred to as the great city of Babylon throughout. Isn't it? Yes. Remember, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, that killeth the prophets, and then they killed God in the flesh there, and then the Antichrist declared himself to be God there. At the performed the abomination of desolation there. So it is the great city of Babylon until it's not, until God has it cleansed. And we read about that, didn't we? He put it in their hearts to burn the whore. I believe it was burning. God put it in their hearts to burn the whore. I think it was burning. God put it in their hearts to burn the great city of Babylon, Revelation. God puts it in the hearts of the beast and the 10 horns, representing to turn against the great city and destroy it, fulfilling God's purpose. It says often linked to Babylon or Rome. No. Revelation 11:8 tells you the great city is where our Lord was crucified, making her desolate and naked, burning her with fire. There it is. Okay. Because fire is a cleansing process. So that great city, Holy Jerusalem, after it's been cleansed, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written therein, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east, 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, on the west 3 gates, and on the wall of every city 12 fountains, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. Moving over to Colossians. Masters, give unto your servants that which is just and equal, knowing that ye also have a master in heaven. So in other words, do them as you would like the Lord to do to you. Continue in prayer, which is bowing to the will of the Lord, and watching the same with thanksgiving. Withal, praying also for us that God would open unto us a door of utterance to speak the mystery of Christ, for which I am also in bonds. Why is it a mystery? The natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them because it's spiritually discerned. Jesus, why do you speak to them in parables? Because it is meant for you to know the mysteries of the kingdom, but for them it is not meant. It's a mystery to the lost sheep or the goats. It is only revealed at the spiritual baptism onward. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. I wonder what that means exactly. Live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of every opportunity. I like it. Walk in wisdom towards them that are without. That could be lost sheep or goats, redeeming the time. Yeah, because what if they are just a lost sheep? So, Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt. So this is the other definition of grace, because grace means favor. When it talks about it is by grace you are saved through faith, that you may know how you ought to answer every man. So let's go to that. All righty then. Oh, way on down here, are we? And it's Ephesians. There we go. For by grace you are saved. Grace. For by grace. And it says, favor, a merciful kindness, which by God, exerting his holy influence upon souls, turns them to Christ, keeps, strengthens, and increases them in Christian faith, knowledge, and affection, and kindles them to the exercise of Christian virtues. But this one means more of the first usage that we're reading today, that which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness, grace of speech. So this grace is how you're saved. It is by grace you are saved. It is by of God's favor to you, of his merciful kindness. That's how you're saved, exerting his holy influence upon you. That's how you're saved. Turning you to Christ, that's how you're saved. He keeps and strengthens and increases you to the faith and the knowledge and affection. That's how you're saved. It's by grace you're saved. It's this particular usage. Um, Here comes my runny nose sneeze fest. Hang on. And the definition is graciousness as gratifying. So that could be also, this is the definition. So that could be more of the definition of what we're reading here in Colossians. But the definition of by grace you are saved is down here, benefit or favor, gift. So that's why the Lord made it so confusing, like what we were talking about, as a mystery. Because the Greek had so many different definitions just for one word. That's why John 3:16, for God so loved the whole wide world. No, for God so loved cosmos. The first Bible usage is what he so loved. For God so loved his orderly arrangement, which is also the main definition. Yeah, and after that, second usage is sun, moon, and stars, his adornment, which is also the apple of his eye, or his adornment, also as a match for his sheep. We've been over that many times. Oh, that's all right. I got Cosmos pulled up because I use it so often. Appropriate, harmonious arrangement, constitution, order, government. Ornament, decoration, the stars. All the way down here, the fifth usage is the human family. The sixth is just the goats. So it has all different types of meanings. So for God so loved cosmos, you have to be very specific about what he so loved. And you look at the definition, and there it is. It's orderly arrangement. Decoration by implication. And it says the world in a wide or narrow sense. And in this particular case, it's those of the narrow way, including those of the inhabitants of the narrow way. See how confusing and how twisted the Lord made it that way because he wanted it. Well, we're just living in his will. He's ordained the end from the beginning. It was his will that there would be wolves in sheep's clothing and false teachers all over the place. And at the end times, like we're in now, getting close to it, as soon as the right eye wound takes place, that this earth would be grossly full of false teachings and false religions. Man's free will is the most satanic. It removes God's sovereignty. It has man's will being done, doesn't it? Man's got free will. Do what he wants. Oh, okay. So I guess God's will's not being done. Well, God's ordained the end from the beginning. Everything is set. The only thing we haven't lived through yet is the end times. The Bible verse says, even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. You really think you're choosing what you eat for dinner or choosing your salvation? Based off your intelligence or your really big heart, because you're just better. Hmm. So That I speak of the mystery of Christ, for which I am also in bonds, that I may make it manifest as I ought to speak. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt. So, speak to the point, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. All my state shall Tychicus declare unto you, who is a beloved brother and a faithful minister and fellow servant in the Lord, whom I have sent unto you for the same purpose, that he might know your estate and comfort your hearts. With Onesimus, a faithful and beloved brother, who is one of you, they shall make known unto you all things which are done here. Aristarchus, my fellow prisoner, saluteth you, and Marcus, sister's son to Barnabas, touching whom ye received commandments. If he come unto you, receive him. I'm glad you're here. I love it very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.